Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's critical Social Security updates, I need to ask you for a quick favor. If you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. It takes just 2 seconds and helps ensure you never miss important updates about your Social Security benefits. Thousands of your fellow viewers rely on this channel for timely, accurate information. Join them by subscribing today. Now, let's get into some major news. Next month in June 2026, Social Security checks will be rolling out with average payments around $2,000 per month. But that's not all. Starting July 4th, a revolutionary new program called Trump Accounts will officially launch, offering $1,000 in free government money for eligible children. Could this represent the future of Social Security as we know it? Today, we're breaking down everything you need to know about June payment dates, Trump accounts, and what these changes could mean for retirement security in America. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about the Trump Accounts program, which officially launches on Independence Day, July 4th, 2026. This initiative represents one of the most significant changes to government savings programs in decades. Here's how it works. Any child born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028 will automatically receive a $1,000 deposit from the federal government into their own Trump account. This isn't a loan, it's free money designed to give the next generation a financial head start. But the program doesn't stop there. Parents, grandparents, or any family member can contribute an additional $5,000 per year to these accounts. That money can be invested in U.S. stocks, ETFs, and mutual funds, allowing it to grow over an 18-year period until the child reaches adulthood. What can these funds be used for? At age 18, account holders can access their money for several important purposes: purchasing their first home, paying for college or trade school education, or starting a business. The flexibility here is remarkable and addresses some of the biggest financial challenges facing young Americans today. According to President Trump's projections, even without additional contributions beyond the initial $1,000 deposit, these accounts could grow to at least $50,000 by the time the child turns 18. With regular maximum contributions, that number could be substantially higher. We'll look at some specific scenarios in just a moment. Now let's examine the real numbers behind Trump accounts, because this is where things get truly impressive. Let's start with a baseline scenario. You receive the initial $1,000 government deposit, and parents or family members contribute the maximum $5,000 annually for 18 years. Assuming a 10% average annual return, which aligns with historical S&P 500 performance over the past century, the account would grow to approximately $256,355 by age 18. Think about that for a moment. A teenager graduating high school with over $250,000. That's enough for a substantial down payment on a home, full tuition at most universities, or serious seed capital to start a business. For many families, this could be absolutely life-changing. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Let's say that 18-year-old decides not to touch that money immediately. They leave the $256,355 invested and let it continue growing at that same 10% average annual return. By age 60, a typical retirement age, that account would have grown to over $14 million. Now, I want to be realistic here. $14 million 42 years from now won't have the same purchasing power as $14 million today due to inflation. However, even accounting for inflation, we're still talking about substantial wealth that could provide genuine retirement security. The contrast with traditional Social Security becomes stark when you consider these numbers. Current Social Security beneficiaries receive an average of about $2,000 per month, or roughly $24,000 per year. A multi-million-dollar nest egg would generate significantly more than that through investment returns alone, without even touching the principal. This brings us to a critical question that Senator Ted Cruz and other lawmakers have raised. Could Trump accounts serve as a model for reforming Social Security itself? To understand why this question is being asked, we need to examine Social Security's current financial situation. The program faces a projected trust fund depletion date that could trigger automatic benefit cuts. The fundamental problem is demographic. Social Security was designed for an era when more workers were paying into the system than retirees taking out. That ratio has been steadily declining. Today, fewer workers are contributing payroll taxes while more beneficiaries are collecting benefits. The Social Security Trust Fund currently invests exclusively in special issue U.S. Treasury securities, which earned an average interest rate of 4.3% on new issues in 2025. Compare that to the stock market. The S&P 500 index has risen almost 24% over the past 12 months alone, and averages around 10% annually over the long term. By restricting investments to low-yield treasuries, the Social Security system is potentially leaving significant returns on the table. This isn't a new debate. President George W. Bush proposed creating personal Social Security accounts back in 2004 to 2005, allowing younger workers to voluntarily redirect a portion of their payroll taxes into private investment accounts. That proposal failed due to lack of public support, partly because of concerns about market volatility and risk. The risk factor is real. Stock markets can decline significantly in bad years. However, over long time horizons like the decades between starting work and retirement, historical data shows that diversified stock investments have consistently outperformed bonds and other conservative investments. Trump accounts could serve as a proof of concept. If millions of children build substantial wealth through these accounts over the next 2 decades, it could shift public perception about the viability of investment-based retirement programs. There's another related initiative that deserves attention: the Trump IRA program, which actually has bipartisan origins. This program, initially signed into law by President Biden, addresses a gap in retirement savings access. Many Americans work for small businesses, are self-employed, or work as independent contractors without access to employer-sponsored 401k plans with matching contributions. The Trump IRA program provides government matching for these workers. If you don't have an employer retirement plan, the government will match up to 50% of your contributions, up to a maximum government contribution of $1,000 annually. Here's how the math works. If you contribute $2,000 to your Trump IRA, the government adds $1,000, bringing your total annual contribution to $3,000. Over a 40-year career, with that same 10% average return we discussed earlier, you'd accumulate approximately $1.5 million. Combined with a Trump account that someone might have had since birth, we're looking at a scenario where Americans could potentially enter retirement with multi-million-dollar nest eggs. A far cry from the current reality where many seniors depend entirely on Social Security checks. A new website, trumpira.gov, will enable eligible workers to set up these accounts and begin contributing when the program launches. Now let's shift to immediate, practical information that affects current beneficiaries. The June 2026 Social Security Payment Schedule. If you receive Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, your payment will arrive on Monday, June 1st. Mark your calendars for that date. Wednesday, June 3rd is the payment date for 2 groups. First, anyone who receives both SSI and Social Security retirement or disability benefits. You'll get your SSI payment on the 1st and your Social Security payment on the 3rd. Second, if you started receiving Social Security before May 1997, you'll also receive your payment on June 3rd. For everyone else, your payment date depends on your birthday. If you were born between the 1st and 10th of any month, your payment arrives Wednesday, June 10th. Born between the 11th and 20th, your payment comes Wednesday, June 17th. And if your birthday falls between the 21st and 31st, you'll receive your payment on Wednesday, June 24th. This staggered schedule has been in place for years and helps the Social Security Administration manage the massive volume of payments going out to over 70 million Americans each month. Let's talk about how much beneficiaries can expect to receive, because there's often confusion about this. For retirement benefits, the amount you receive depends on 3 key factors: your lifetime earnings history, how many years you worked, and the age at which you claimed benefits. To qualify for Social Security retirement benefits at all, you need at least 40 work credits. You can earn a maximum of 4 credits per year, so this effectively means about 10 years of work. The average Social Security retirement benefit in 2026 is $2,024.77 per month, But that's just the average. Actual amounts vary considerably. If you consistently earned at the taxable maximum throughout your career and claim at full retirement age, currently 67 for most people, you'd receive approximately $4,152 per month. That's nearly $50,000 per year. Claiming early at age 62 reduces your benefits substantially. That same high earner would receive only about $2,969 per month. By claiming at 62, a reduction of nearly 30% that lasts for the rest of your life. On the flip side, delaying benefits until age 70 increases your payment to around $5,181 per month. That's over $62,000 annually. For every year you delay past full retirement age, your benefit grows by 8%, which is a guaranteed return you can't get anywhere else. For supplemental security income, the calculation is entirely different. SSI is a needs-based program for disabled, blind, or elderly Americans with very limited income and resources. It's not based on work history at all. The maximum federal SSI payment in 2026 is $994 per month for individuals, though this amount is reduced based on other income you might have. So, let's bring this all together. June 2026 brings regular Social Security payments on the schedule we outlined. June 1st, 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 24th, depending on your situation. But July 4th marks the launch of something potentially transformational: Trump accounts that could provide the next generation with hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of dollars in retirement security. Whether these accounts represent the future of Social Security itself remains to be seen. There are legitimate debates about market risk, wealth inequality implications, and whether investment-based accounts should replace or supplement the current guaranteed benefit system. What's undeniable is that Social Security in its current form faces serious financial challenges. The trust fund depletion date is approaching, and solutions will be necessary. Trump accounts and Trump IRAs represent one possible direction: emphasizing personal investment accounts over collective risk pooling. The coming years will show us whether these programs deliver on their promises and whether public opinion shifts toward embracing them as a Social Security alternative. That's all for today's update. If you found this information valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help the channel bring you more content like this. Drop your thoughts in the comments below about Trump accounts and whether you think they're the right direction for retirement security in America. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.